All right, guys. Welcome into the AfterSchrock. We didn't have one last week because I had to get somewhere for my son, but this week I got a little bit of time, so I thought, oh, my camera's been crooked. It's been bothering me the whole show. There we go. Little things. But I got a little bit of time here, so we can go ahead and take some questions if you have some here. So feel free to post your questions here on Facebook, and I will answer them as rapidly as I can. Yeah, wow, I just got an offer in my email to buy Oakley sunglasses for $20 right now. That's eyeglassworld.us if you want to get some $20 Oakleys. Yeah, sure it is. All right, so let's see what's going on in the service center this week. We hired a new employee this week in Lincoln. His name is Lucian, and he's a bear of a guy, huge guy. Like, man, if there's an upset customer, Lucian gets to talk to him because you see Lucian and all of a sudden you're much less upset. He's a big guy, but he's a really nice guy from everything I could tell in the interview. So he starts on Monday in Lincoln. We'll be training him up a little bit. On Thursday, I'm bouncing out of town for 2 days. It is the first time that my wife and I, my son is 12 now, my oldest is 12. It is the first time in 12 years that we've actually gone away without any children, without any of them. So we're going down to Florida for the Epcot Food and Wine down there. My wife loves Food and Wine Festival. We never actually got to go to one before, but we didn't have a kid hanging on us like, I don't want to go to Germany and try the schnitzel. You're like, oh, come on, can I get a hot dog? You're like, no, you can't get a hot dog. You want a sausage? I don't want sausage. I want a hot dog. So we don't have the kids with us, so we're just going to go there and enjoy it for a couple days. So Thursday and Friday, I'll be out of the office. I'm usually out Fridays anyway, so you guys won't notice. But I'll be back for the radio show well before Sunday to make sure that we're back on the air again. So let's see, we got a new hire there. The data recovery lab has been popping in Omaha, which is why I mentioned Drive Advisor. Literally, we're averaging 2 detections a day right now from Schrock customers alone that have bad hard drives. Funny thing is, if you go to driveadvisor.com, which I'm going to go there now, and it's Drive Advisor. Hey, Roger. So my voice, I was at the end of the show. I don't know if I could do a second hour. My voice is always dying on me. But if you go to the Drive Advisor website, it'll tell you how many users there are and how many drives have been scanned and how many failures have been scanned. So basically, we've got how many users. This is how many people, how many computers Drive Advisor is installed on. 4,581, or I apologize, that's how many email addresses. 4,581 email addresses, because one email address could monitor multiple computers. If you have 2 computers at home, you might just put one email address in. We have scanned, since we launched this, 12,510 hard drives have been scanned, and 1,855 of those drives are bad. So let's take a look here. And let me see these numbers here. So we've got 1855 divided by 12510. That means of everybody hearing my voice on the radio, 15% of them have a bad hard drive and don't even know it. 15%. Now that could be a bad C drive, like the main hard drive. Drive Advisor also tests all of your external hard drives. So if you plug in an external hard drive, it'll tell you whether that's good or not. But that's a lot of bad hard drives, guys, and we get bad hard drives every day coming in, and there's no rhyme or reason to it. We have computers that go out the door and a month later have a bad hard drive. We have one, I was dreading having to call her and tell her, because we also follow up, if you're a Schrock customer, and if you've been on the bench at Schrock and we installed your Drive Advisor, we will call you to let you know your hard drive is bad. Obviously, if you're not a Schrock customer, if you've never been to our service center and you install Drive Advisor on your computer, we don't know your phone number, so we can't call you. But sometimes the emails go to spam or promotions or stuff like that, so we'll actually call you and tell you it's bad. We had a woman who came in for a screen replacement last month, just put in a brand new screen, all the labor and everything. Now she's the one that had the hard drive drop 10%. I don't know if she chucked her computer during the Husker game or what, but it dropped 10% in the middle of the Husker game. I got an alert on my phone that that customer needed to get a phone call because her hard drive was dying. And so, the guys in the shop gave her a call, and I'm sure it was like bad news on bad news at that moment. All right, so let's see. Oh, thank you, Carolyn. I appreciate that. All right. All right, thanks, Blake. I appreciate you joining us on the program today. Yep, Thomas, you got in. Let's see. It's sad for the Allen band is a no-go. The USA is where an innovation. Yeah. Yeah, Mark, I'm not going to reopen the old wounds. I couldn't agree with you more. That was In other words, if we buy some repackaged Chinese piece of junk and resell it in the U.S., we can do that all day long. But if we need to get, if we want to put cellular connectivity on it, I guess it's kind of the same thing. If you bought if I went out and bought a TV station, I can't just broadcast my TV signal. I have to get a license. And it's the same thing for the cellular radio. You can't just create a cellular device. You have to have a license. So I get it. I don't like it. I get it. It was definitely a punch in the gut and a learning experience where you can innovate, but if you innovate too big, you better in other words, if we were going to do that, we should have done a campaign for $700,000 to get that off the ground. I've had lots of other companies come to me and say the idea is brilliant, we want to do it, and they go through all the stuff with us, and they're all on board until they get to that FCC part, and then they're like, yeah, it's not going to be a win. We can't. I've had a place that has 28 retirement communities, and they want to put the Allen band on all their people in the retirement communities. I've had guys that run airplane maintenance, and I guess when you do maintenance on airplanes, you have to go out in pairs. Two people have to be together. In case an engine or a wing falls off, crushes a guy, he's got someone there who can call for help. But if he had an Allen band on, he wouldn't need that, and they could cut all their expenses in half. And airplane maintenance is like $150 an hour, man hour. So two techs on site to fix a plane is $300. You cut that per hour. You cut that down half, that saves a lot of money. So even with all those economies and efficiencies, we still couldn't cobble together the $600,000 that we would need to make this a reality, unfortunately. So yeah, it withered on the vine. Sorry about that. And we did our best. Have Weiwei make the Allen band. Okay, now here's a funny story. It's not funny. It's frustrating, and I try not to think about it because it makes me angry. We obviously worked with a Chinese factory to get the Allen band off the ground. When we told the Chinese factory that we would not be moving forward with the Allen band, we didn't hear anything more of it. Suddenly, though, there are a lot of devices on Alibaba. If you go to Alibaba.com and do a search for like elderly watch, because they don't know how to market anything there, so they basically break it down to its most basic concept. Let's take a look. I haven't looked in a while because it's kind of a sore spot. Let's see, elderly watch. Tracking device with positioning. Okay. I'm looking for one that looks like the Allen band because there is one out here that's almost a direct rip-off of the Allen band. Let's see, the anti-loss SOS smartwatch. There it is. The 2018 smartwatch with big SOS button. $25 to $35 a piece if you order. There is a minimum order quantity. I'm going to read the specifications here. 24 hours of real-time tracking, phone book with two-way communication, dynamic heart rate and blood pressure monitoring, pedometer, one-touch SOS, history playback, geofence alarm. That means if you go outside of your prescribed area, it alerts. Big SOS button, free tracking web platform with open API. Yeah, so basically, this, like I said, it's not hard to do this, but this does not have a cellular watch. It has Wi-Fi, GPS, and yeah, GSM positioning, two-way communication, smart calling and communication. It can insert SIM card when you need to have communication with family. Okay, so you can actually put a SIM card in this one. So this is a cellular watch. This is the Allen band. Imagine that. Huh, fun times. But if I bring this to the United States and I want to stick a SIM card in it, I need an FCC license. So the thought occurred to us, what if we did that and just didn't get the license? And we only sold like 100 of them, right? Or 200 or 500. Are they really going to mess with us? Are they really going to mess with us? Yeah, it's not the right way to do it. It's, if they shut you down, then you've sold a product, and now, no. So unfortunately, yeah, it was frustrating. But yeah, so when they talk about intellectual property disappearing, that's what they mean. Because the factory had NDAs with us, and suddenly those NDAs are out the window, apparently. All right, Sarah has an easy question for me. How do I download my 12,000 photos on my iPhone to my computer? Do I need a special piece of software? Okay, well, the software that you would want to get is iTunes. iTunes will allow you to connect the phone to the computer and download the images into iTunes. From there, you can take them to anywhere. So whenever you want to get anything out of an iPhone, the only way to do it is iTunes. There are other pieces of software that you can buy to do that. The other thing is you can also use third-party services. You can get like Dropbox, for example. If you get Dropbox, you can copy all those pictures. You can send them to your Dropbox basically, and it'll take forever for them to upload. But once they're uploaded, then you can go onto any computer and pull them off of Dropbox. Same thing with Google Drive. It's the same thing, Sarah. One of the things that you should be aware of with an iPhone, though, the more full your iPhone gets, especially for pictures, if the iPhone detects that it's getting full and it won't be able to store very many more pictures, it will automatically start lowering the resolution of your camera as you take more pictures. So the more full your iPhone gets, the worse pictures it's going to take. So it's something you shouldn't probably store all your photos in your iPhone. You should batch some of them out of there to get them out of the way, especially because you can't, there's no removable storage and you can't expand the storage on the iPhone. I didn't get to the story about the SMS stuff. One of the things that's being laid in the groundwork in this October update is the communication requirements that are going to allow Microsoft to communicate with Android phones. So right now, if you're an Apple user and you have integrated Apple messaging turned on, if you get a text message on your phone, it shows up on your MacBook and on your it'll show up on your phone, obviously. It'll show up on your Apple computer, your iMac, your MacBook. It'll show up on your iPad. You can message back and forth from any device, which is really handy. Well, now with Microsoft, you have a Microsoft account with Skype connected to it. They're going to integrate all the messaging there so that if you get a message on your Android phone, it will show up on your computer, which is kind of neat. And also, since Skype can be installed on an iPhone, it'll allow PCs to actually have that same interoperation for SMS for iPhone users too. So this is some of the groundwork that's being laid in the October update. There are some big changes coming under the hood for the October update. Not a lot on the surface, but underneath a lot of big stuff. And then the update that comes out after this one. So not this October one, but the next one that comes out after that is the one that's going to be like the boom, here's all the changes. But they're laying that groundwork in, so they're not doing too many changes at one time. But basically, right now, if you want to do this today, Skype is offering this as an opportunity for you today. You can link your Android phone to your Skype account and then have integrated text messaging, which is kind of cool. So you can read about that also here on Facebook. We posted that story. Also, all the stories I covered today, guys, last week I think I forgot to do it because of all the camera trouble. I didn't get around to it. But this week I've got all the stories from the show today posted. Throughout the week, they'll come up on our Facebook feed. We try not to send them all at once because then your whole feed becomes like Schrock Innovations and people don't like that. But I only post the really interesting ones, and I post them up so that you have the opportunity to read the full story, get the full details, or share them with friends if there's something there that's really, really interesting. Let me see, was there anything in the mix that didn't make it? Oh yeah, this one is great. We posted this one last night to Facebook. In latest Windows test builds, Microsoft discourages alternate browsers. So it works like this. Right now, you can get the test build of the update that's going to come out in October. So some people have already installed it. And when they install it, they opened up, they tried to install Google Chrome. And this picture of this guy's face with his hand up, like, stop. Are you sure? We care about your security. Are you sure you want to do this? You already have Microsoft Edge, the safer, faster browser. Let's see, the safer, faster browser for Windows 10. You could say open Microsoft Edge or install anyway. And then you could say, do I want to be warned in the future? So basically what Microsoft is doing here is they're putting up a barrier to you installing other browsers. Hello, the 90s is calling. They want their browser wars back. Isn't this what they got sued for from the department? Oh, come on. Well, we're not tearing apart Google for their anti-competitive stuff. And Google does the same thing. If you've ever popped open your Google, let's see here. See for yourself. Your security matters. Using Google Chrome is fast and a secure browser. So if you open up Edge and you do a Google search for something, the thing that pops up on the screen says your security matters. Google recommends using Chrome. Not interested or yes. So Google's doing it too. It's just they're doing it the other way around, which I think is actually okay. Suggesting people might choose a different browser, that's one thing. But stopping them from using somebody else's technology because you want them to use yours, you already set your browser as the default browser on every computer that gets installed with Windows 10. So come on. I mean, a lot of our customers don't even know how to change their homepage, let alone change their default browser. So once you set that Edge as a default browser, there are still customers using Internet Explorer, for heaven's sake, because they don't know how to change it. So it's not cool. So yeah, Microsoft doing the old tricks there. All right, let's see. Going down here. Missed the live show this morning. Well, it's all right, Ray. Did you cover the new Apple devices? Thoughts besides being overpriced? I did not cover them. To be brutally honest, I read about the first couple pages of stuff on the new phones, and my eyes glazed over. There's not a whole lot there. Let's see. Apple new iPhone comparison. Let's do a side by side here, real quick. That's probably the easiest way to do it. Okay. Compare models. We have the iPhone XS, the iPhone XS Max, and the iPhone XR. There are a lot of jokes that the iPhone XR, the R stands for reasonable, because the other ones are stupid expensive. So basically, the best way to think of if you know the Samsung product lineup, the iPhone XS is like the Galaxy S9. The iPhone XS Max is like the Note without the stylus, and the iPhone XR is like the iPhone X right now, basically. Let's see, they all have dual 12 megapixel cameras, except for the R one, which has a single camera. They all have 7 megapixel front-facing cameras. They all have Face ID. They all have the same processor. They all have the same water resistance, except for the reasonable one, which only goes to 1 meter underwater. They all have wireless charging capacities. They all come in 64, 256, or 512. The big ones have a new thing called the Super Retina HD display. The old one, okay, this is what Apple does. They take existing technology and they rename it, like the Super Retina HD. Super duper. It's called an OLED screen. Samsung's had them for a while. Let's see. Higher resolution on the screen because that's OLED. Touch, got it. Size and weight, about the same. Splash and water resistant. They all have the same chips. Cameras, nothing major there. Video recording does all the things you'd imagine it would do. Available on all carriers and wireless connectivities. Has Apple Pay. Voice calling, audio calling, really? It's a phone. Oh, golly. Audio playback, video playback, Siri, which they only spent 8 minutes on Siri in that whole presentation. So let's see, included headphones, you get the AirPods with it. Yeah, so that's basically it. It was completely underwhelming. So Huawei's kind of got a point. There is nothing revolutionary, awesome, cool about these phones in any way. There's absolutely, if you have, like my wife has an iPhone X, there is no reason for her to get the iPhone XS or XS Max. And the iPhone XR would actually be a downgrade from her X. So there is no reason for my wife, who has the latest Apple flagship phone, to buy the new iPhone. There you go. Now, if your iPhone's a couple gens old, this is going to be like, oh, but the iPhone XS Max has a price tag of about $1,200. Which is pretty expensive. So let me click on pre-order. Let's see exactly what it is, because I'm sure the cost of the phone will depend on how much storage you take in it, right? All right, so we're gonna select I would buy the X Max if I was gonna do it on Sprint, because that's who I'm with. In my finish, I would take black because that's what I like. Okay. The 64 gig version. This is the one that's so small you're going to run out of space. You're not going to be saving 1,200 photos or 12,000 photos on this one, Sarah. 64 gigabytes. One is $1,100 for that phone. $1,100, or the equivalent to most people's mortgage payment. 256 gigabyte phone. So this is a reasonable amount of memory that you're not going to fill up. You could take some video, and you might have to taper back a little bit at some point, especially because you don't have any expandable storage. There's no SD card. $1,250. Now, whenever I buy my wife an iPhone, I always max out the storage because she does a lot of photography work. She takes a lot of high-res pictures. And you never want to be stuck without storage on an iPhone because there's nothing you can do about it except buy a new iPhone. So I would buy her the 512 gig flavor, which is the biggest you can get, for $1,500, $1,449 plus tax. So, to give you a comparison, you can get the Note 8, or no, is it the Note 9? It's the Note 9 now. The Note 9 with the stylus in it, if you like the stylus, or not. If you don't use the stylus, you'll never even know it's there. You can get it maxed out with 512 on board, but you can also put a storage chip in for another 512 gigabytes, so you can get a terabyte of storage in a phone with more memory, a faster processor, a curved screen, dual cameras, just like the iPhone. Everything is the same, except their flagship high-end price is $1,100, which is still. I'm not buying a new. I have an 8. I have the Note 8. I'm fine with that. My jaw hit the floor at $900 for the Note 8. I'm going to get more than a year out of that phone for sure. So I don't know. Why would you buy the new iPhone? I don't know. Warren Buffett says that Apple's got a lot of room to move on this still. And apparently there's a lot of people out there who have never had an iPhone that really want an iPhone. That's what they want. Like their dream is to own an iPhone. Well, at these prices, I mean, all right, so that's the expensive model. So let's go back now and let's choose the reasonable model, the XR, which is, like I said, a downgrade from the iPhone X. So if you have the iPhone X, you're not going to go with this. Continue. We're going to select Sprint because that's who I roll with. We're going to go black because that's what I like. And here we go. We don't even have a 512 option on this phone. 256 is as high as it goes for $900. So I can buy a phone that's not as good as the phone that I bought a year and a half ago for the same price I paid for the phone I bought a year and a half ago, just so I can have an Apple logo on my phone. Just saying. I'm not an Apple hater, guys. I have iPads in my house. We have an iPod in my house. We have an iPhone, obviously, in the house. In the shop, all my shops all have iMacs in them. I mean, I'm not an Apple hater. I'm really not. But what are you giving me for that much money? I don't get it. I don't get it. There were no new iMacs or no new Macs at all in the announcements this week. It was all phone and tablet stuff all the way. So anyway, the new 12 processor is a little bit faster though, so I'll give them that. I mean, it is a better processor than the iPhone X, but nothing that's, $1,200 better for sure. All right, let's see. I'm still waiting for Apple to sell me a phone where the volume goes to 11. Oh, let's see here. Okay, I go a discount. You got a discount, Russell? Oh, $14.40 for the Max one because you got a discount. You got a $10 discount. Did you find a coupon code, Russell? You found a coupon code, didn't you? All right. So yeah, that's so to answer the question, that's the Apple summary. I didn't go through it on the air because honestly, we were packed this show, and it was a lot of talking about nothing really. I didn't really nothing there, nothing new anyway. I don't know. We're kind of at the limit, guys, of what we can do with the materials we make the phones out of. So what happens is we can't. The screens can get bigger, but the resolution is where it is. The screens are already curved. They don't fold yet. They can get lighter. They can get thinner. It makes them more fragile. So now it's all about like tweaking innovations, little things that if we take out the headphone jack, we can put a second camera in. That's what Apple did last time. Samsung said we could put a second camera in and give you a headphone jack too. Yay. So now I get, on my Samsung phone, I get a headphone jack, and I get my my SD card slot that I can put expanded storage in. I'm just saying, options are nice. Maybe that's because I'm just a modular guy. I don't know. All right, so guys, to wrap up here real quick, Safe Upgrade is no joke. That is super, super serious. Schrock Innovation. Let's see how many we got left here. We sold almost 1,000 of them last time. So right now, we haven't even reached out. We sent email out to the people who bought last time. Email deliverability is notoriously atrocious. We have not sent phone calls to those people yet, which we will be doing this week. So yeah, for this, we're going to send phone calls because you're a previous customer. But we have 803 in stock right now, which means we're just about at 200 here sold so far. And now the marketing is going to start. So I would encourage you guys to get on there and pick a copy of this up before they're gone. You remember you need one for each computer you have. So if you have multiple computers in your house, and only Windows 10 computers. If you have a Windows 7 computer, you obviously don't need the Windows 10 Safe Upgrade for October. If you have a Mac, you obviously don't need the Windows 10 Safe Upgrade. I get these questions, okay? When you buy it on the website, it goes to your Schrock account, and then when we'll contact you when it's time to download and run it. So you download it from you log into your Schrock account, same way when you checked out, and then you'll have a link there. You download it, and then you run it, and then it runs and it does everything for you. It's all automated. You don't have to do anything. It's going to ask you like 3 questions that are yes/no questions if need be. If your hard drive is bad, do you want me to continue installing?
You can continue. We don't recommend it, and it would not be covered by your warranty. I probably should get the hard drive repaired before I decide to do that. Third-party software is out of date. We're going to update that for you. Please stand by. Updated. Okay, next up, antivirus software. We detect you're running something other than Semantic Endpoint. Schrock Innovations recommends Semantic Endpoint. You may continue without having Endpoint. We just can't guarantee that you don't have a virus. Because otherwise we have to scan your computer for a virus, which means we'd have to install an antivirus scanner, and it became a huge thing. So we just said if they have endpoint, we know they're clean. If they don't have endpoint, we can't know they're clean. But and if you have no antivirus, it'll pop up and say you have no antivirus. You really need antivirus, and you can skip that and continue and keep your warranty. And then it'll install it. That's all there is to it. So it's really straightforward. As always, guys, you know if you buy a product from Schrock and you have trouble using it, we're going to help you. We're going to help you out over the internet. We're going to help you out over the Schrock desk. If you are geographically diverse, if you're not local to a service center, you can get Safe Upgrade, and 9 of the 10 things that could go wrong, we can fix over the Schrock desk. So we are there to support you. Even though we're not geographically close, we can still support your computer for you. So check it out, guys. Safe Upgrade, available at Schrock. 803 left in stock. And yeah, that's the gist of it. So last call for questions here. If you have a question for me, let me know. Also, I didn't talk about Secure Updater at all, but that's how we check your third-party software is we install a trial of Secure Updater. It's kind of nice. If you have an expired trial, you can't get a trial ever again because you had the trial. It's kind of like when you go to the sample line at the grocery store, you get the toothpick with the sausage on it, you can't keep coming back. You can try. Well, we allow you to come back when you buy a Safe Upgrade. We give you another 15-day trial to get you up to date and everything. 801 copies there. Just sold. Oh no, that was before. So 803 now after we sold those two. For user. Oh, use your actual name for your username. I don't want to say your username. For Barry. Good job, Barry. All right, so last call for questions. Let me scroll down and see if we got anything here. Oh, yes, I want to hear about the desktop updates for Mac. You want to hear about... There are none. That's the thing, Russell. There are none. There were no new Macs. The whole announcement was about phones only. Phones and online services. Apple doesn't care about Mac users anymore. There's no growth there. The growth is in the phones. That's where the money, the phones. We got to have the phones. There's no more innovation in computers. We got to have the phones. We can make the phone into a computer. Yeah. We can make the iPad into a computer. Yeah. That'll be great until everyone realizes how not great that is. Excuse me. Computers have their place. Desktops, laptops have their places and their best functions and best purposes. Phones and tablets have their best places and purposes. And yes, you can bend a phone or a tablet to do a desktop thing if you have to. Just like last week, I bent my phone to do a Facebook Live because my laptop computer decided, it took me time to figure out why Chrome wasn't allowing my camera to work. But there you have it. I figured it out. Yesterday I was like, oh yeah, I better look into that, huh? And I was like, oh wow, it's still doing it. I better check this out. And so then I figured it all out, got it all fixed up. Couldn't really do it live on the air. But this is the best solution for what I'm doing here. On your phone, if I'm out and about mobile, that's the best solution. But I always hate that because I always feel like a 13-year-old girl when I'm doing that Facebook Live from my phone because I have my phone up here and I'm looking up at it because that's the angle you're supposed to use, blah, 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 and I walk when I talk. And so the background, I'm always like spinning and turning and people are getting sick and they're throwing up on their keyboard. I mean, it's not good, right? Now I have to sit still. You can probably see I dance while I'm talking. I'm like, they should make a meme of me like, doing things like you just loop it or something. I don't know, but yeah. So I can't sit still when I talk. I just can't. So anyway, I'm going to try to sit still while I talk. So I have a difficult time being a news anchor and sitting still while I talk, because see what's happening? I'm like chunking up. I can't do it. So I need that motion, that movement. So anyway, I digress. But yeah, so I move when I talk. So anyway, phones have their place. Computers have their place. And the places do overlap sometimes, but not all the time. And so like for what I'm doing here, there's a reason I unpack a laptop and an external camera and an audio cord and a network cable every time I come into the studio every Sunday morning. Because I could do it all with my phone, but then all the words on my shirt are backwards. And the sign behind me for KFAB is backwards. And they're everyone's on the dial looking for 0111 BAFA or BAFK, They got to find it. I couldn't see the K behind me. See there? BAFK. You know, it doesn't exist. It's not real. You have to look in the mirror to see what station I'm really on. All right, guys. So no more questions, I don't think here. Let me scroll down one more time. Maybe there's one more. Nope. Bobby Reiser says thumbs up. Thanks, Bobby. Appreciate it. All right. I got to roll, guys. I am on the chain gang today. My son's football game. I'm actually nervous. I'm running the chains, right? And I don't want to accidentally give them a fifth down or something, you know? So it's like I got to hold the stick, and I don't know if I get to flip the down thing or if I just hold the stick. And then I'm like, well, if they come running at me, I got to remember to lay the stick down. Or maybe if it's the other team, I just hold the stick really firmly like a pikeman, you know? Crack! You know, these are little kids, you know. Oh, did you guys see that? For those of you who are not Nebraska people, you know, bear with me. But the Huskers' first loss of the season against Colorado. Did you see when that guy was getting up off Martinez, the quarterback, when he got injured in that play, and he grabbed his ankle and he was like, and he made it look super casual, like he was getting up just, and he's ripped his arm out of there, but he was turning his ankle trying to injure him, and they slowed it down and they played it back, and sure enough, that guy was intentionally twisting that guy's leg. And you just got to sit and think, I get it, man. It was football, and you're excited. You want to beat Nebraska, and it's a close game. But, wow, you're going to rip some guy's leg in half to win a football game that's not even a conference game? I mean, not that that would make it right. You know, it's not even a game that matters. Oh, my gosh. So, yeah, you see these little kids out there. A parent got ejected from the football game last week. I'm like, come on, dude. He was jeering the refs. The refs and the ref was terrible, making terrible calls, and everyone can see that. But yelling, "Hey ref, you need some glasses!" You know, you're not doing him any favors. So he ejected the parent from the game because the refs in youth sports don't put up with that. You can't even if it's a holding call, you can't be like, "Oh, boo!" You can't. No, you can't even. There will be no joy. There will be no sorrow. You have to clap politely for all the boys, and then you can grumble after the fact. That's what Twitter's for. But yeah, so I'm the chain gang now. So I don't know. I gotta lay the stick down when people come running at me or something. And I'm worried I'll make a mistake and put it on the wrong yard line or something and get yelled at. Especially if it's that ref. Oh my gosh! Before the game, I just happened to run into this guy. I'm just making polite conversation with him. And I'm walking past him, and he's walking the track before the game, and I was walking to the restroom, and I'm walking next to the guy. You don't just walk next to somebody and not say something. There's only one time it is permissible to stand that close to another man and not say anything, and that's in the bathroom. Okay? You don't talk there, especially when there's other urinals. You don't take the one right next to the guy and talk to him. That's weird. But I'm walking down the track, and I'm talking to the guy, and I'm like, hey, I'm just trying to be a polite person. I said, and I'm sure nobody ever tells, it's like police officers, no one ever tells them thank you, especially when they're getting a ticket, right? So I figure this guy I don't know if they get paid for this. He may be just volunteering, right? So, hey, thank you for coming out and doing this for the boys. I appreciate it. I'm doing my diabetes walk. I got a diagnosis last week, and that was a real bummer. We skipped straight from, hey, I just want to be polite and say thank you to medical overshare here. Okay, well, so I'm sorry to hear that. That's terrible. And he walked away. And that was how he reffed the game the whole time, which is maybe why he got so upset when somebody questioned his eyesight. Just saying. The diabetic eyesight, oh no. Oh golly. Anyway, now I'm going to get in trouble because he's probably watching this stream right now. Hey, Bankus, welcome aboard, man. Congratulations on the new peanut there. And I'm glad to see your dome healed up too. That's pretty awesome. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a great afternoon. We'll see you again next weekend for another edition of Compute This.